Hello, everybody. Claudio Alegre here. Welcome to episode 4, I think, of season 1 of the Daily Pill, a webcast sponsored by our parent company, Angel Hope Care Services, an agency providing caregiving services to the South Florida community, primarily Dade County and Monroe. And so I hope everybody is well. It's 7:30. And it's the last day of the week, basically, based on the fact that tomorrow is Thanksgiving. And I think I'm lucky if my mom is watching this, because I think everybody's either cooking or getting ready to do something. So my only hope is that's the fact that this is recorded, and I'm going to be able to put it on Facebook, and then I'm going to be able to to just promote it. But I hope anyone who's watching right now, I hope that you are getting ready for a great week with, family and good food, good health, and all that good stuff. And so, speaking of which, I wanted to kind of like today wanted to introduce a little project that I've been working on for a while, and I'm actually going on my third edition of it. But I'm going to share the second edition with you. And I'm going to share a couple of great kudos, and good little pearls of knowledge when it comes to caregiving that's inside this. I'm calling the guide, it's the how to. It's this guide right here. It's this guide right here, and it's how to have your elderly parents properly cared for without going broke in the process. And this is a guide that I wrote a few years ago. I'm working on my third edition right now. And it's pretty much it's the first thing that people get from us, from our website, from when I'm talking to somebody and they have no idea about how to approach this world. I send them this thing. I send them to them via electronically or snail mail if they want it. But it's just so easy to download. I think I actually have a link to it. On our show notes that you can get to it. You can also go to our website, and it's actually one of the best first links on the actual banner. You can just download it there and get it for free and just read the whole thing. It's 31 pages. It's a brief read, but it's just going to give you kind of like a pretty solid overview of exactly that, right? How to properly care for your parents, for your elderly parents, right? Without going broke in the process. So the whole caregiving is just not about money, okay? But planning, budgeting, your finances, and everything else that goes along with it is a big part of it. And since that's one of the first things that hits people, dead on, if they haven't planned, is sometimes the cost associated with not being ready to confront the caregiving crisis, right? So anyway, but it's an awesome guide. I mean, it's got, not because I wrote it, of course. Okay, it's what other people have said that I've read it. So I'm just repeating what others say. So, but I start with a little bit of a story about my own paternal grandmother and what she went through with Alzheimer's and what we went through with her. Even though we're in the business, we went through quite the challenge. Frankly, I got like some awesome stats from. Jen Worth, a 2015 study, which since then has been upgraded. I think 2017, 2018. I'll include the link of that on their Facebook page as well. I got sections like how to pay for long-term care today, right? What you need to know today. The 5 ways that you can do that. All about state-funded long-term care programs. I got. Bunch of resources in here. All about the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. The basics of it. It's just it's crazy. There's no reason why anybody should know the difference or even anything beyond just the basics, unless you have to go through it, right? This will explain it to you, like a 5-year-old, right? So. The 3 most expensive mistakes family caregivers are making and how to prevent them. I actually covered this topic on, I think, episode number 2 or number 3. and how to create a family long-term care custom plan in 3 easy ways, right? And just a bunch of stuff in this guide. This is just basically a nifty little guide that once you download it, you can share. If you're not going through it, you can share it with anybody who you think might actually need it, right? Or it's going through a process right now. The important thing is to get information in your hands as soon as possible as you think you're going into a caregiving crisis, or if you're already there and you need some information. The fastest way is just to talk to somebody, right? But this kind of like will put things kind of in perspective for you. And like, for example, I'll cover like one small little section of the guide. For example, this one is like super popular because I've done a few versions of this, like how to create a family long-term care custom plan in 3 easy ways, right? And I just go through the basic guidelines. So if you were facing a caregiving crisis, what are the first 3 steps that you need to take, right? And by the way, in the guide, I go a little bit more in detail. I'm just gonna outline it for you in the interest of time, because I don't want the clock to run out on me and be halfway through it. The point is not for me to go through this whole thing with you, but so step 1 is to get informed, right? There's so much that some of the information when you first get slapped with a caregiving crisis is you don't know which way to go, and there's so much information out there, but this kind of like funnels it for you. So it's not just information, it's timely information. That's the key, right? When you're going through any type of crisis, just not caregiving, you don't need information. You need timely information, things that can work for you right now, at this very moment, based on what you're going through. So I go through that right there. And then step 2 is knowing your options. So once you get the basic information, so what are my options? What that really means is step 1, what's my first step? What's my second step? What's my third step? What's my fourth step? But what do I need to do? In snackable, easy to understand steps that are, that every time you take one, you get more confidence because you get more results. And then you get more confidence and then you get more results, and it becomes a positive cascade of good stuff in terms of getting the stuff you want done, right? And so step 1, again, get informed. Step 2, know your options, and step 3, take action, right? So those are 3 easy steps. Now in the take action step, I actually have a 5-point checklist that I actually like to go through with people, right? And so by this point, you've already informed yourself, right? And you've educated yourself. You have all the correct information. Now it's time to make a decision, right? By now you have an idea of who your care team is. You put a few people together in the right places. You've talked to the right people, and then you're confident that they have your back, right? And now you feel now you can move forward with fair ease, right? So here's the 5-point checklist to help you take that kind of action, right? And point number 1 is, do you understand your parents' current eligibility status, right? And that is, what's their insurance situation? What do they have available to them? Okay, that is the low-hanging fruit, meaning that that's what what care belongs to them through benefits already. So a lot of families don't know that, right? So that's the first thing. What can I get right now that's not going to cost me any time, any money, or any hassle, right? Do you understand the services your parents' insurance plans cover? That's part of that, right? So that by the way, a quick call to your rep or the insurance, not the guy that sold you the policy, or not the guy that the actual possibly a case manager or a social worker can help you with this. That works for the carrier that you have, right? So the third one is, do you have a team in place to deliver these services? Right. So now once you know what you need, okay, who's gonna execute? Right. That's pretty much what it boils down to, right? Execution. And now you know what their eligibility status is. You know what services they have available through their policy. Now, who's going to execute on that, whatever that is, right? Have you budgeted for any shortfalls in care costs? There's always like the basic example of that is like a copay or something like that, right? In a long-term care policy, it's called an elimination period, right? Where you know, depending on how you structure the policies, the first 30 days to 90 days, you have to, you know, basically pay into the policy or cover those costs before the benefits actually kick in. No difference than a copay when you go to the doctor's office and you got to pay $20, right? Or for meds or anything like that. Same thing. So find out what any budget, you know, what are you gonna have to come out of pocket, even beyond any type of copay, right? And then finally, have you planned for at least the next 3 to 6 months, right? And this is huge, right? It's, you almost gotta see it like your life is gonna stop for a little bit, not entirely, but it's definitely gonna get a bit sidetracked if you get caught off guard, or it's a crisis situation that what, Siri, I'm not talking to you, sorry. Siri just pops out of nowhere and she interrupts my conversation, just like Alexa at home. I don't have any control over that. So anyway, so planning 3 to 6 months, it'll take you less if you know what you're doing to get basically your life back on track, right? But any caregiver that has been in a situation where they didn't see it coming, or they did, but it got worse kind of fast, can tell you that, you know, the pre-planning aspect of all this is huge. It can actually make the difference between, you know, going through it smoothly or having it be a complete disaster and chaos for you, for your life, for your loved ones, and all of that stuff, right? It can all be avoided. It can all be managed in the right way if you follow these 3 basic steps with this 5-point checklist that you can get right here in this booklet once you download it, or just call me and I can get it to you, whatever is easier for you. So anyway, I'm writing the 3rd edition of it, so as soon as it's ready, I'll go ahead and just make it available to everybody on the website, on Facebook, everywhere. So this is it. My 15 minutes are almost up. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, easy on the food, all right? And I hope that you have a lot of things to be thankful for, just like I do. And we can never say thanks enough. I always have a gratitude moment every day in my life, right? You know, so every day at some point, sometimes it's the morning, sometimes the middle of the day, when I try to shift gears, you know, and I always take a little bit of time to say thank you. This week is just the holiday that we understand as Thanksgiving, but this should be a daily practice, okay? Giving thanks to whatever you feel, giving thanks to something hopefully bigger than yourself, is a great practice. Gratitude is actually a powerful force, full of energy, and if you know how to tap into it, it can be insanely, you know, useful for your life and for those around you. So, happy Thanksgiving! Have an awesome week. Take care of yourself and those around you. And I'll see you next week on episode 5. Take care.